We doing this shit. I figure out a way to get us paid. We changing the fucking game.
The day I saw Kanan out there with some fools I ain't seen before.
If you and Kanan need anything, you come to me. Figure out how to make a bigger move with that money.
Rock breathing, she hustling. Should've took her out back in the day.
Now, we all know there's a huge chunk of the season left, and normally around this stage of a brand new Power season, I would say the foundation has been set. But we can tell the writers are being very patient with the storytelling over the first 2 episodes, and it's not to say they haven't been explosive, because they have. Season 3 have made a very good start, and we're going to continue to see them build on that. The lines are being drawn between Kanan and Rock, and now we're going to see Kanan setting up his very own weed business with Famous. Howard and Rock won't be happy about this, but they'll also have the added issue of the task force to worry about. Law enforcement are playing a huge role this season, and by the end of it, will they be able to get a win? And could Adina foil potentially help them? We're going to see Unique and Ronnie have a very interesting conversation about Rock, which will tell us more about whether Unique is running game or not, and it is going to be very interesting to see the way Ronnie moves going forward, especially when he finds out about Unique and Rock's relationship. Duke's also got our audition, but is Lou set to let her down once again? I think he is, and I'll run through why I think that is as we run through a quick preview of all things Raising Kanan, Season 3, Episode 3. Now the title for Episode 3 is Open for Business, and the synopsis reads: as paranoia sets in for Rock and Howard over the task force, Kanan and Famous launch their weed delivery business, Jukebox prepares for audition, and Ronnie grows impatient with Unique. Now, we all know what the title means. I don't think you guys need me to break down Open for Business. It's Kanan getting his weed operation up and running, which will most likely be Simrad's weed, but through Paul's courier system. We're going back to the old school methods of using pagers, papers, and a phone, with Kanan having his very own crew. He's going to be using Paul's couriers on bikes, who can run across all 5 boroughs of New York. So they're going to get their operation up and running, and they're going to start to get paid. The problem is, law enforcement are all over the city and have been for a few weeks because of what went down with the Italians at the end of Season 2. Now let's also not forget, they can also add Sal Baselli's death to the number, and so Howard will be warning Rock. The synopsis teases that paranoia will be kicking in for both of them, and Howard can only do so much at the precinct because he's not on the task force, not yet anyway, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did manage to weasel his way in or get information somehow. I do think it's inevitable that at some stage Howard will have to kind of step in the middle and make some moves at the precinct, but in the meantime, we're going to see Rock making a move to try and stop Kanan and Famous. We're going to see Rock coming over to the crib and handing some cash over to Famous, which she thinks will try and help keep them off the streets, but we all know that's never going to happen. Kanan was born a hustler, and like Unique said in Season 1, he was in this shit before he was even in this shit. Now we do have to mention, Kanan could have chosen a different path, just like Ghost had the chance to, and just like Tariq did, but he chose this life, although we do need to bear in mind it is a different era. In comparison to someone like Tariq, Kanan grew up in Queens in the 90s, so there are a lot of differences. Now just to add some more context to this scene, we are also going to see Kanan slapping this money out of Famous's hand and saying he doesn't take anything from Rock. Kanan is a man now, and so this season Rock is terrified because she's actually really lonely for the first time. So those were some words from Patina Miller, which I think she only has herself to blame for. You can't expect just to buy your way back into Kanan's life after lying to him and manipulating him for almost 15 years. And I do feel, had she just been honest in this moment in episode 2, maybe he would have thought twice about giving Rock another chance. All he wants is respect and the truth, and also to be in the game, which of course, no mother wants. But if I were in Rock's shoes, I would have done what Tasha did. She knew that Tariq was going to be in the game regardless, and so she thought it was best done under her guidance with her say-so, and that way, at least you have some level of control. So let's see how this relationship begins to unfold, especially with Kanan getting into the mix in the streets. Now on Rock herself, it looks like she's going to continue living her life away from the street game. We've got her in the salon once again, but how long can she keep this facade up? What's it going to take for her to say enough is enough? She's getting back in the mix where she belongs. Will it be Kanan that forces her hand, Ronnie, or maybe Unique? Something will definitely give us some stage, but for now, in episode 3, it does seem like she's sticking to her word, and she's looking to do something else with her cash. Now, a problem that Rock will have despite her being out the game at this moment in time is law enforcement.
Feds is gonna dig deep. They already watching.
This was a scene from the season trailer with Howard warning that the federal task force have opened up shop at his precinct and they're gonna dig deep. So it doesn't matter if Rock is out the game or not, she will be in their crosshairs, and so that's a problem for all of them. Whether Howard can do something about that from his end, I definitely think he will try. He's at the precinct where they've set up in a different room, but no doubt, I think Howard will try and work his way onto the task force, but he will have another issue to deal with, Adina foil. At Beck's memorial in episode 2, she approached Beck's father to tell her Shannon would never have done what they were claiming, but she was shut down by Burke's father and she was later shut down by the captain. Now the case for Burke is still open because Foyle won't let IAD close it, but I think it is in Howard's best interest that they do close it off. So we are going to see him approach Foyle, and I don't think he's going to kill her. I think we could all tell he didn't even want to kill Burke either. He gave her a few chances until he realized she was never going to stop. Only then did he do what needed to be done. So I think he's going to do the same with Foyle. I do think he'll try and get her to drop the issue, but if she doesn't, he will have to get his gloves back on. Now with Ronnie and Unique, we're going to see them in the gym and the topic of conversation will be Rock. We're going to hear Ronnie say if Rock's breathing, she's hustling, and how they should have taken her out back in the day. So let's not forget, Ronnie and High Post used to run opposing pipelines. They made deals on particular blocks and territories, and even when they were enemies, they seemed like they were willing to make a deal or two for the benefit of both operations. When Rock took over, she broke all the deals that High Post and Ronnie made and started to stamp her authority on territory and blocks that were supposed to be no-go zones. So for Ronnie, Rock is definitely considered an enemy, but not for Unique. Unique's involved in a romantic relationship with Rock, and so I think we're about to find out whether Unique is really running game on Rock or not. Now I also wouldn't be surprised if Ronnie was testing his brother. What we've learned about Ronnie so far is he's very observant, attentive to detail, and he knows things have changed with his brother. So maybe he's just feeling Unique out to see what really is going on. So let's see how the rest of this conversation plays out. Now on their business, I do feel like we are going to be introduced to some new crime families, because Stefano mentioned how there are 5 crime families in episode 2, which is actually a nod to the 5 crime families that ran New York for decades, the Italian Mafia. He said that Unique would have to get approval before they move forward. So let's see what comes out of Unique's next meeting, and how and if Ronnie plays a part in his new operation. With Jukebox, I broke down a storyline with Lulu earlier on this week, where Malcolm Mays did tease that he may be letting Juke down again. The first time was when he gave a song to Ziza, and this time around it does look like he's too busy getting drunk, which is becoming a real common theme with him this season. We've seen him with a drink in hand in episodes 1 and 2, and it is going to be the same in episode 3. Although having said that, Marvin is still in Juke's corner, and she will knock this audition out the park, because it has been teased in the season trailer that she will be one of 3 in the girl group. So while we're on this topic, there was some news that was released earlier this week that Liv Simone will be appearing this weekend in a recurring role of Aisha. Her character is described as sweet, effervescent, the epitome of the girl next door, who sees the best in everyone. She's also going to be 1/3 of a girl group alongside Jukebox, and the other will be Crystal. Whether we see Crystal in episode 3, I'm not too sure. But that's a breakdown of everything we need to know before going into episode 3. So drop all your thoughts and predictions down below in the comment section. Let me know how you see Kanan's hustle going, what Unique's response is to Ronnie saying they should have taken Rock out back in the day, and just how big of a problem will law enforcement be. Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.